Welcome back to Ask an Innovator, diving deep into the mind, body, and soul of Andrea from Sleeping Giant Brewery. Andrea, share with us a couple funny stories about the beer world. Now, beer obviously makes people smile. It brings people together.
Yeah.
It's a business that you created that creates a lot of connection, and I'm sure it's very, very rewarding. Have you had any funny stories, any challenges, anything you want to any anecdotes you want to share about?
Sure, yeah, absolutely. And the great thing, just to piggyback on what you were just saying, beer is not aged 19 to 99, and that's the beautiful thing about beer. It's we had an event last night at the brewery, and you have all these people come together of different ages, all over a beer and a pint, and it's wonderful. But if you're being a business owner, trying to be an innovator, we spoke yesterday about having thick skin and why we're doing these things, why we're putting ourselves out there, why we're, oftentimes I look at other women specifically because I'm a woman and think, oh, you're not doing this, you're not tying yourself down to a business and responsibility and expectation, and why am I doing this to myself? But we opened the brewery to create a culture here in Thunder Bay with craft beer. We wanted to educate people about beer. So our first summer that we were open, we did this little festival, a local festival, and it's exciting for us. It's the first time we're going out there and really, this is the first time craft beer being offered in that kind of setting. And so one of the challenges that day, well, first of all, we really didn't look that great. We didn't think about the marketing piece, right? Now we do have nice tents and things like that. But we were serving our beer to people who probably didn't know what craft beer was or had never tried it before. And some people were really receptive, really excited to have us there. But there was one fellow in particular, and I'd served him our lightest beer at that time. He was looking for something really light. And he was so upset with me that I served him this beer with this unusual flavors. And he actually stood there and hollered at me a little bit and dramatically poured out his beer into the grass. But you know what? That didn't bother me at all because this is why we were doing it. And so often when things like that happen, people will look at me for a response because it's all about education, but and teaching people. And it doesn't bother me because he's tried our beer. I don't expect him to love our beer. I don't expect everyone to love our beer. Yeah. There's lots of options out there from both macro and microbreweries, but you do have to have that thick skin, and that was a great story. It didn't bother me. It just sort of motivated me, like, yep, this is why we're doing it. We're just exposing people to this thing that we love.
So the gentleman that didn't like your beer, obviously it was his first time having something truly flavorful, something that might not have been a generic domestic light beer, so to speak. How is an education important to you? So that individual probably today, because of that experience, might enjoy a hoppier beer, a beer that has a little bit more nuance, flavor, depth, texture.
Or maybe after seeing our growth now, he's like, hey, maybe I'll try that place again. Maybe he did, I wonder. Yeah. Or maybe he's just drinking his routine beer, and that's awesome. Whatever floats your boat, whatever you enjoy, it makes you happy, right? But
how important is education?
Yeah, it's really important. Before we even opened the brewery, we would sit at the Madhouse and have a beer and talk to strangers, my husband and I, about beer and educating them. And it's sort of a ridiculous but amazing passion beer. Like, people don't realize that it's really quite interesting. So we definitely wanted to educate people about how beautiful beer is. I know it sounds corny, but when I pour a flight at the brewery and it's all these beautiful colors, dark black, copper, amber, golden, it's just, I want people to see that beauty, because for us it's our way of expressing ourselves, it's our art, and educating them that beer's fun and that there's so many different styles, and people don't understand that still, right? So to have that, to be able to share that and have people get excited about it, because what's more exciting than exciting your taste buds and finding something that goes really well with your favorite taco or whatever, so that's been a big piece for us, and still is, and excites us, to see people.
It's widely understood in the culinary community that beer is food and food is beer in a lot of ways. Wine is food, food is wine. They go hand in hand. You can't have one without the other in most circles. So from a culinary perspective, from a cultural perspective, what you're doing is truly innovative. Some challenges around being an innovator. What would you say to the newbie innovator, the person that's sitting at a job, not enjoying themselves, punching the clock, 9 to 5, the person that wants to break the mold, get out and attack the the free market.
Yeah.
What advice do you give to
Well,
this
the
person?
first thought whenever I hear about somebody opening a business, I think, run, don't do it. No. But you know what? I really believe that if you're going to be successful, you have to be passionate. So if you have a passion for something and you believe in it, then you should follow that dream. And it doesn't mean you have to stop punching the clock. We didn't stop. We have jobs that we enjoy, luckily. And that's actually become a challenge, because how do we balance two jobs that we love so much? But I think if you have a passion for something, you should follow it. And I think that's going to be the secret to your success. And that's also, in those hard times, what's going to keep you going. Because there's lots of hard times. There's lots of times when you hit the wall, you can't keep going, but you have to, right? Because this is the path you've chosen, and you need to be prepared to follow through.
I'm sure you've had some rocky bottoms in growing your business.
Yeah.
And how do you relate to those rocky bottoms? Do you have that glass half full mentality where you look at a rocky bottom as a solid foundation in which to build?
Absolutely, yeah, definitely. And I always turn to all the good, like you just focus on the goodness. And I was telling you that, all the good things in my life, I just keep them very close to heart. I don't necessarily boast or talk about them, and it might have to do with my kids or whatever. And it's those things that I sort of just keep close to my heart and that keep me going, right? But you have to sacrifice too. So yesterday, my daughter needed me in the middle of the day to do something, and I had a meeting, and I said, I won't be there at that meeting. I'm going to go with my child and do that. So it's just finding that balance. And I ended up taking her and her friends out for lunch, and it was such a great moment in my day, that I wouldn't have had it had I gone to that meeting.
Sure.
And I went late to the meeting, but anyway.
Do you think that showing that leadership, family first, as an entrepreneur, sends the right message to the community and to your staff about priorities?
Yeah. And then we are able to, because we have that attitude, we have a lot of staff with families and children, and they know that we've got their back too, and that we support each other, and we all know what we're going through in terms of parenting, and we're all at different stages, but yeah, it's important.
Yeah, we had a couple nice little conversations about running your business from an emotional perspective and running your business from a spiritual perspective, maybe not looking so much just at bottom line necessarily, looking at spreadsheets, but looking at the kind of the spreadsheet of being a human being, understanding the spreadsheet of emotions and life. And this is an important way to important perspective on your business.
Yeah, no, definitely. And I think being real impacts your business in a positive way, right? And acknowledging challenges and acknowledging the good things is important. Like you talked about ego before, having an ego and putting yourself above all those issues and those problems and the good things and the bad things, it's not necessarily, in my opinion, the way to go. I think it makes you a better leader, more vulnerable if you're addressing those things and allowing them to impact how you're approaching your business, your own life, yourself. And again, it's not always easy to do that. And I don't always make the right choices, but I try.
I love it.
Yeah.
So we're gonna on that note, you talked about being real. We're gonna leave it at that. Thank you so much for coming in. Thanks for the innovation. Thanks for the inspiration. Ask an Innovator. Andrea, Sleeping Giant Brewery, thank you so much for tuning in. We were trying to keep it real. We were trying to be real. Innovation is real. Thanks for tuning in. See you next time.